no matter how good you are. Oh, sorry.
Welcome back to Ireland AM. Our next guest...
We're just saying he's not good enough for half an hour. He wants half an hour.
It's Dermot Bannon, everybody.
No matter how good
Hi.
No matter how good you are, you're not getting half an hour. It's Ireland AM.
Forget the traditional intro, is it?
You're in everyone's house every Sunday evening. Come here, would you not just do Dancing with the Stars and just take over Sunday for like 5 hours?
And just be done with it.
Do the 9 o'clock news in between and you'll be grand.
Yeah, I could.
You
read
could.
the news. Yes, yeah.
That would be amazing. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. Yeah. Yeah.
Very busy. Lots going on.
Lots going on. Yeah, I've just finished Room to Improve. We're starting all over again for next year.
Yes.
And so...
How does it... So I was watching when I was like, you know, I'm bed into it. When you're watching the show.
Yeah.
And with building costs,
yeah.
if people are thinking about not moving and extending, like they're kind of all over what the building costs are, and they have increased so horrifically in 6 years. And you see on social media people being like, this is ridiculous. They're spending 300 grand on an extension. You're going, yeah, that's how much it costs now. Because I know you get a lot of, they're like, what a Room to improve. I'm like, that's what the cost is.
Yeah, and it's an extension, 300,000.
Well, no,
it's a big extension.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
It's not. No, look, basically a lot of houses are old, right? And what's shifted in the last 10 years or 15 years is people's expectations of how the house is going to feel. So when you walk home, do you want to put on a couple of jumpers and have the heat blasting and the house cold? Nobody wants that. People expect their houses to be warm and cosy. And in order to take an old fixer-upper, you've done one, and make it warm and cosy, you have to insulate it.
I still have 15 jumpers on, Dermot. Thanks very much.
So you haven't done the big job yet. No, but like you have to insulate, you have to change out the windows, you have to do the attics, you have to... And it actually costs... like, so if you've got a 200 grand budget, you can probably spend 100 grand on just making the original house how you expect it to be. So that's what people expect to walk into their house and have a T-shirt on in December, and we forget what it was like back in the 80s and the 90s, living in the house with the condensation on the windows and all of that. So it's just a huge proportion of the cost now are going into retrofitting and upgrading, but there's huge grants for it, so why wouldn't you?
Well, it's not huge now, but it helps along the way.
Like
but to get your BEO ratings
over 30,000, like that's...
Oh, I suppose.
It's not huge to you, Alan.
No.
Here we go.
I was looking at window grants, and I was like 8 grand, and it was going to cost about 30. So I was going to say 8 grand's not much off 30, is it?
Well, it's nearly a third.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I was just hoping I get more.
But
anyway, listen. Yes. So going back to the show, I'll have a private conversation with you later.
I know, you're going to do this on
but like the show,
yeah.
Is that then making the show more difficult for you to make? Because like the days where so you're going in now and people are expecting. I think because I thought watching it years ago was like I could reach that goal. But if you're saying now at 30, it's 300,000 extension, I'm going, well, I'm out of that.
Well, this year now we're looking at challenging that a little bit and looking at can we get in somebody with a smaller budget and see what we can do, because like I suppose every year with Room to Improve, it's the market. It's whatever is happening. We had COVID, we had the crash, we had the boom, we've had all this. Now it is rising costs, and I suppose our job really is to challenge that and say, right, well, why are costs rising? Is there another way to do it? Because we kind of tend to just fall into the traditional ways. You build with a cavity wall, you do this, and so every year, and this year, I suppose myself and Claire, like we're in the production meetings at the moment. So give us a challenging budget. Give us something that is more attainable. Give us something that, and then see what we can do with it. And it might mean that we've got used to nice kitchens. We've got used to the kind of the really nice stone worktops. Maybe we have to row back a little bit, and our expectations have, like, you know, what people expected from their homes 20 years ago compared to what they expect now is totally different as well. Everybody wants an Instagrammable home at the end of it.
And it's so weird, like the amount of people that think, you know, you got to get your house all done within a month, and it's like, lads, this is years-long process. Like people, I think, need to give themselves a little bit of a break
and a bit of time. But everybody, as soon as they start a project, it's the Instagram page is opened up, and then what you call it, the stories and they don't feel like it's done until they have everything, cushions on the thing. But like I remember when my parents bought their house, like we had no furniture for about 5 years. You know, the dining table, I was 6 before we got a dining table, and that's what people did. You know, our first house we bought it, I we had a couch for about 6 years that I bought in Buckley's in Glasstool. I think it was 35 quid I paid for it in an auction. You know, but everybody now feels that it's expected of them to have something looking like a showroom, and it doesn't have to be.
Well, you're not helping now because you got a brand new show, Celebrity Super Spaces.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's like, lads, take your time. Now, Celebrity Super Spaces.
That's not what I'm on to talk about. We'll
talk about that in a second. What's Celebrity Super Spaces?
Celebrity Super Spaces is a show where we go into celebrities' houses, and through how they've designed the place, we get to know a little bit about them. So we've been to Vogue's house, Vogue and Spencer, Camille O'Sullivan, Aidan Gillen, Juppie Sweetman, who else? Clodagh McKenna in London, Joanne McNally. She's brilliant.
Look at that big smile on your face there.
Do you know something? Obviously, I'm probably not Joanne's demographic for the podcast and things like that. But when you meet her, she's
brilliant.
Infectious. I would love to be her friend for the rest of her life. She is just...
You can stay in there. You've got the digits now. It's all good.
What did you find out about her in her house or in her apartment or flat, wherever?
Well, it was the vivaciousness of it. You've probably all seen it on Instagram, what the flat looks like, but. It turned into kind of why she lives in London and she has this corner apartment on the very top, and it was she sits out on the window watching life go by, and that's where she gets all her material. So for a comic, it became about how does a comedian live in order to suck up as much information to regurgitate it on stage, and you have to watch people. You have to be a real people watcher, and so we. I loved doing this series because you get into the house, you get to learn a little bit about them, and then you get to delve a bit deeper and kind of find the things in the house that really reveals them. It was brilliant. It was absolutely...
And can I ask you, Aidan Gillen has a room with nothing in it.
Yes.
So what does that tell you about Aidan Gillen?
Well, it was kind of...
There's a room, you walk in and there's nothing in it.
No, it's a kind of a room that is for whatever you want it to be. And it's the largest room in the house, and it has the best views, and it's for parties, it's for poetry readings, it's for lying in the middle of the floor.
And so you'll bring in a chair, will you?
Do you know if you go to a therapist, right? I don't know if any of you have ever been to a therapist, and you sit down and they just go... And then you start talking. You fill the space.
So this is the type of room for that.
This is the type of room. You go in there, well, what do you want it to be right now? And it is just... And it's the coolest room in the house. It really is.
I can imagine, because with Camille O'Sullivan, and she's such a performer, it's amazing to have something. I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because we all love a nose.
Yes.
Like, we really do all love a nose. Also, do you want to talk about therapy?
No.
No. He's like, did I mean to say that I go to therapy?
No, I didn't. I didn't say anything.
No. Come here, you are doing something, and it's back, and we love that you do this every single year, and this is for the Simon community.
So we're way over 20 years at this stage. I think we're 21 or 22. It's the Simon Open Door, the RIAI Simon Open Door event. So architects up and down the country have donated their time in time slots, 1 hour time slots. So if you have any question for an architect, and people are overwhelmed with loads of stuff at the moment, retrofits, heat pumps, heat recovery, grants, vacant homes, Crecona. There's so much going on, and I'm asked all the time in queues, you know, when you go to the supermarket.
You must get head melted with it sometimes, do you?
No, he loves it. Loves it.
Kind of love it. Shut up, you. But it's if you've got a question for an architect, and sometimes people think that their question doesn't warrant calling an architect out, because it could be just about storage, or it could be just about, I don't know if I can take out this wall because it's supporting, but I'd love to. And for a donation to the Simon community, you can have an hour with an architect and ask them absolutely anything. It's a brilliant initiative. All of the money, every single cent, goes to the Simon community. So it's just brilliant. So it's on from the 13th to the 19th of April.
Yeah.
And you can't ring an architect. You have to book it through the website. So it's RIAI Simon Open Door. If you just Google Simon Open Door, it'll get you there.
And we did it last year, and it is amazing, because you can be intimidated in situations
How did you
like
find it
this.
Last year?
Amazing, because you're just like, I don't know if this is a question or if this is something I should be asking or what's going on. And it's... it's, first of all, you're donating to the Simon community, so if you haven't, you want to donate in some way this year, you're getting something out of it.
Yeah, did you get something out of it?
So I would, did you learn? I'm probably going to go back again, to be honest.
So did you bring pictures, and are you encouraging people maybe to bring pictures or plans, so you can
just run around your house, take loads of photographs. What people do is they take photographs of the inside. If you've got a really nice view from one of the windows, take that view. So just take loads of photographs. If you've got a house plan, everybody who's bought a house will have, with the brochure, they always keep the brochure in a little envelope somewhere. Bring the brochure. No, you threw it out, did you?
No, definitely haven't.
Somewhere. It's in a drawer.
Is it in your scary file?
But it's in the scary file. It's in the scary file. But have all this, know your BE or know all that, like know everything.
Know
when you're
as
going.
much as you can.
Yeah.
But even now, like if somebody comes into me, I can bring up their house in 3D on Google Maps or something like that, and I can so you don't need to know if it's north, south, east. So I can find out all that once I have an air code. So like there's you don't have to be too prepared, but like the biggest thing you do is go in with an empty mind. Not an empty mind, an open mind.
Open mind. Open mind. Open mind.
Back to therapy again.
Yeah. No. But it is, and have a specific question. Don't walk in and go, what can I do? Sort of maybe have some questions.
Well, actually, that's, now, in fairness, that's a good point, because sometimes people have very preconceived ideas about what they want to do because they've seen it on Instagram or they've seen what the sister's done or the brother's done. And our job actually is to tease out what are the problems? What's affecting your life with your house? And it could be something as simple as all the bikes sitting in the hall and that it irritates you every single time you walk into the house. But people won't say that because they'll come in with, I want a pantry like this. And I say, but is that your real problem? Well, I don't know. And then when you actually tease it out of them, you'll discover that the wetsuits are hanging on the back of chairs because they go surfing every weekend and the stink from them. And actually what would have suited them is a bike store and a little room that has a drain in it that you can hang up the wetsuits and dry. So it's to get to the bottom of your problems. So we are trained to do that. Yeah. So go in with an open mind, not an empty mind.
Not an empty mind, but to little things that you mightn't think matter, but they do. Just very quickly.
Yes.
We've seen the ads start on telly for Hugh coming back with the Great House Revival and for everything. Such a wonderful man. I think everyone knows that.
Everybody loves him.
Seeing him back on the screens, like like everyone has an opinion about. I think it's lovely that we're getting to see him.
I think it's really poignant because it's kind of weird that there's there's Home of the Years on and the Great House Revival. Home of the Years it's on tonight actually. Yeah. But that is like just. You know when you see somebody, it's on TV like that, it's kind of like he's still there. Yeah. And it's really hard to kind of fathom that he's not and that at the end of the season, that's it. Like, that, you know, that's hard. Like, because he's still there. He's still on a Tuesday night. You can still look forward to next week and the week after and he'll be there for the final of it and all that. But then after that, it's
I think he would love that, though.
Oh, it's exactly what he would have wanted.
He would love that.
It's exactly what he would have wanted. But I suppose it's hard for everybody. Like, I would work with some of the people, like the TV industry is small. And like the morning that I found out, I went to like all the cameramen, we were filming Room to Improve, and all the cameramen and sound men and all that, they all knew him. They all worked on Home of the Year and Great House, and everybody was really stunned. It kind of, I was told really early in the morning, and then I arrived and I told everybody, and they, it took until lunchtime for people to sit down and say, like, has that really happened? You know, it's just odd.
And I suppose during this time we're thinking of Martin, his lovely husband, as this is going out, and we hope that he's okay with all of this. And as always, Dermot, thank you so much for coming in as well. Just Simon Open Door is running from the 13th to the 19th of April. Thanks a million.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.